this video, I wanted to do something a little bit different than what I normally do, and I wanted to do some conceptual photography. For anyone that doesn't know, conceptual photography is just taking a picture and trying to get across an idea or a thought with the photo. To a certain extent, everything is conceptual because even when I go to take a photo of a car taillight or an old car, I am framing that up to bring a sense of nostalgia or just harping back to an older time. I'll try to frame it up where there's nothing else in the shot that is modern or something like that. So to a certain extent, everything is conceptual. Even when someone takes a photo with an iPhone, they're framing it up a certain way to get across a certain idea. Conceptual photography is more you're setting up the whole entire scene to really pinpoint one idea or theme. One of the people that I look to for inspiration is Gregory Crewdson. He's not a conceptual photographer per se, but he does set up complete scenes, very elaborate scenes to get across a point, an idea, or to fit a certain theme. The only difference with conceptual photography in everyday life is if you're just walking down the street and you see something and you want to make an idea out of that, you're just documenting that in real time. And even though it is kind of conceptual, you're just documenting what you're seeing in front of you to get across an idea, and you're kind of moving around that scene. Whereas conceptual is more, you're setting up everything. So literally every point in that photo is going to get across your idea. Technically, when I was shooting these photos, I was shooting everything at f5.6 because I wanted that really big fall off and the focus to be on the face. I shot HP5 at 400 ISO, and I think the shutter speed was around 1/15 of a second. Like I said, I didn't want to use T-Max because it was just going to be too dark. The light that I used was the Releno LED that I used for scanning, and it was a pain in the ass because my big one actually died and I wanted to get the photos done pretty quickly. So I used the smaller one and it didn't put off as much light, but I'm just working with what I have, and you don't have to have a lot to make a photo or have like a studio photo. All I had was the backdrop and a light and a camera, so don't be put off if you don't have a lot of equipment. You can still make great images. So I took these photos last night, and I initially was going to use T-Max 100, but as I set up the light and got everything situated, I noticed that I would need to do a 1-second exposure. So I switched to Ilford HP5, which is a 400 speed film, and that would just be better for the overall situation, and that way I could be around 1/15 of a second, and I wouldn't have to worry about motion blur or anything like that. I wanted to use the Intrepid just because using the Pentax, I have a roll in there right now, but I haven't started it, and it's ECDAR 100. And I wanted to do these in black and white. And the other thing is that I didn't want to take 10 photos. So that's where large format will come in handy. I only loaded up 2 sheets in each holder, so I took 4 shots, and that's pretty much all you need for a shot like this because you're pretty much going to use one. You just do some different ideas during the shoot and you end up choosing the best one. The other reason I wanted to use large format is because I wanted the central focusing point to be strictly on the head, and the front tilt on the Intrepid 4x5 allows me to really pinpoint that and draw your eyes to exactly what I want you to, whereas medium format, it wouldn't be as drastic, the cutoff line, so that was just another reason why I did large format. So last night I was just sitting around. I wanted to do something with the old man mask just because I thought it looked creepy as hell, and I think it would look good for a photo shoot. And Emma came up with the idea. We were actually sitting on the couch, and I was thinking in my head like money coming out of the eyes and the ears and the nose, And then Emma actually mentioned that as well, so we decided to run with that idea. And when you get everything set up, you kind of start to come out with even more ideas that relate to the topic. And I know I wanted it to be an old man just because there's a lot of old men fighting about what's going on right now, specifically old white men. And literally every single decision right now comes down to money, who gets it, who doesn't get it, how much people have, things like that. So I wanted the money to be a central theme as well. We threw in the mask to kind of get the idea of the coronavirus and how that is going. And I wanted to have the mask off to show that they don't care about that and they're more concerned about the money. And to even bring that point home even more, we decided to stick her tongue out to say like, screw you, not wearing the mask, blah, blah, blah. And then the last thing, when we were setting up the money, we initially did, we wanted one eye to be exposed, but I didn't really like the way that it looked with the mask because the mask kind of stuck out a little bit, so it didn't look real. So we decided to stick the money in both of the eyes, and it kind of gave this look of like devil's horns. So you can kind of see how when you're setting up things like this, that ideas just come about, and the more that you mess with it and the more you play around and experiment, the more you can bring your topic and the central idea home. The other thing is how you share the photo. That's going to impact the theme and the message that you want to bring to people as well. So if you're sharing on Instagram, things like the caption, who you tag, how you share it, things like that are going to impact the overall theme. The way I did it was I just did a single caption called the money virus. Didn't put anything else. I'll just let people draw their own conclusions with the photo and the caption. And then the other thing that I did with Instagram was I tagged Donald Trump. I just thought that was a funny jab towards him because he is exactly the person that I was thinking of when I went to make this photo. So it never really stops whenever you publish it or when you post it, or even if you don't do anything with it. The idea and the theme is going to live on forever, and I think that's the beauty of photography in general. It just never really stops. If you guys have any questions about anything, please let me know. I hope you guys enjoyed this kind of different video. And this is kind of the way that I want to go with my photography in general, is I want to explore broader ideas and stuff like that and maybe make some more conceptual work. So I'll be sure to bring you guys along for the ride, and thank you all for the support again, and I look forward to the next one.